Yo, what's up everybody? Today we're gonna be doing What If Naruto's a Senju. And I hope you enjoy.
I am going to remind you in advance that I'm very sorry and I apologize for the inconvenience of me not giving a fuck!
2, 4, 6, 8. Let's go, masturbate.
Dog, I'm a blue devil. They mean it, scared, it's reading. Shit turn me to a demon.
Yo, this song go crazy. Like you can't even compete with this. Like,
Sensei, 8-year-old Uchiha Sasuke stood, his arms crossed, watching with cold eyes, as Choji and Shikamaru, both his age, stood opposite each other in front of their teacher Iruka. Behind the Ninja Academy, a traditional shobi spar was taking place. What? Iruka asked Chobi, who looked a bit meek. I don't really want to beat up my friend. That's not what we're doing. This is a traditional Shinobi spar, Iruka said, smiling. Even the Hokage and his friends train like this to help them grow strong. Shikamaru didn't seem to listen, however, instead, he just turned away and walked off. Sensei, I'm fine with losing by Ringa, he announced, which made Choji smile. Call the next pair. Iruka sighing, he lost, he didn't know what the fuck to do with these two. Then gestured for Shikamaru to come back and said, fine, Shikamaru, Choji, do the symbol of harmony next. As Choji and Shikamaru hooked their middle index fingers with each other, Iruka looked over the clipboard in his hands, trying to decide on the next bar. Next is Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke, you're up. As Sasuke walked into the ring that had been drawn on the ground, the girls in his class squealed with joy. Sasuke hated when they did that. He thought annoying them would make them stop, but it seemed to love linger on, you know what I'm saying? You could ignore, you know what I'm saying? You just want to go after it, like, yeah! Let me stop. But yeah, ignoring them once more, he looked at the kid who walked into the ring with him. A boy with sparky blonde, brown hair and intense blue eyes and 3 strange whisker marks on his cheek. Sasuke could see that he shouldn't relax when it comes to this boy, and his expression was very rebellious and already bruised knuckles, coupled with a faded bruise on his cheek and a butterfly bandit over the cut on his left eyebrow, told him to take this kid as a fighter. Let's do this, the other boy said, being Naruto, with a grin that screamed defense and confidence. Naruto, Iruka barked, placing his hand on the ground, ram seal. Before the spar, you have to do the symbol of combat. It's proper protocol. I couldn't give a crap, Naruto exclaimed brassly and very loud. Just start the damn match. So stupid, Sasuke muttered. Fine, I'll take you down in one. Stop the both of you, Iruka ordered. Sheesh, listen, the symbol of spars is a tradition that has been passed down for generations. I realize there's a lot of, you know what I'm saying, anger and shit building up right there, but you gotta listen. But this is important here at the academy. We're teaching you basics first. You have to face your opponents and point the fingers like this. This is the symbol of combat. It represents on half the seal might be used to activate your ninjutsu techniques and means I've come. Oh, that sounded wrong. I'm not. that sounded wrong as shit. I've come to your face and. I've come to your. I'm sorry. I'm gonna cut this shit out, bro. I've come to your face in battle. When the spar is over, both participants make the seal of combat and lock their fingers together to make the symbol of harmony and acknowledgement that they are still comrades. This is all a part of proper etiquette and simple and shinobi spar. And Iruka stopped and twitched when he saw Naruto looking away, clearing his ear. Are you listening, Naruto? This is the second time I've told you this. Yeah. Say yes and say once, you little brat. Naruto scuffed, but then smirked and formed the symbol of a combat, staring into Sasuke's eyes. The Uchiha formed the same symbol. Begin! Iruka yelled as the two kids charged at each other. Sasuke was right when he assumed that Naruto could fight. He was used to being strong and all, so when Naruto seemed to adequately the fuck I mean, like parry each one of this nigga strikes and counter with the same efficiency as Sasuke himself, the Uchiha understandably was shocked. The two traded blows and Sasuke threw the entirely focus on the fight, noticing that in the corner of his eye how the other students were staring in open and shocked. None of them had prepared themselves and expected Naruto to be this damn good. Sasuke grunted when he felt the punch connected to his stomach hard, and when he hunched over, gritting his teeth, his mind eye flashed back to the night when the rage fueled by grief had charged at Itachi when he had developed a similar punch to his stomach. Stumbling back, Sasuke glared at Naruto, and both his eyes of the blonde features changed. Instead of spiky hair, cocky blonde, there was a source of hatred. The Uchiha Itachi. Sasuke felt that familiar rage fill him and charged at his brother with renewed vows to kill him. Taking him completely by surprise with the increase of speed, he laid into him with punches that managed to knock him on the ground, jumping on him and striding him. His eyes was widened with rage. Sasuke raised his fist, ready to pound Itachi's head in to mush. Then he heard cheering from the girls in his class, and he heard Iruka call out, "Sasuke wins," which brought him back to the present. He saw Itachi's mouth curve open with a smirk. "Boy, I've seen those eyes like that before," he said when he spoke. Sasuke heard Naruto's voice, and Itachi slowly wrapped back into Naruto, whose smirk faded to represent a curious look, but for once, is not directed at me. "Who are you looking at?" Sasuke felt himself twitch. He hesitated, then slowly got off of Naruto. As Iruka said, "Now both of you make the symbol of harmony, and we will move on." Naruto got to his feet and rubbed the bruise that he had resurfaced on his cheek after Sasuke punched him rather hard on it. He had put his hand in the symbol of combat, then held it out for Sasuke, giving him a calculated look. Sasuke grunted and did the same, hooking his finger with Naruto. Then, "Let's go immediately," and Sasuke turned away, gritting his teeth. Later found Sasuke sitting on the Yondame's head of the Hokage's monument. He had never been up there before, but Iruka, who had noticed the look in Sasuke's eyes, had told him it was a great place just to sit down and think. He said that he had gotten the idea from another student. When he asked who, the teacher just shrugged and walked away. Sasuke had to admit he could see so much from up here. He felt so small, as thoughts and his problems were just a single drop in a vast ocean. Came a grumpy voice from behind Sasuke, interrupting his train of thought. Sasuke looked over his shoulder to see a kid from the academy, Naruto, standing there with his hands in his pocket, one of his beige cargo pants. He hadn't changed shirts, so his white t-shirt still had blood splatter on it. Surprisingly, however, His bruised lips had already healed, and his bruised cheek is almost completely faded. Naruto pointed at the stone where Sasuke was sitting. "You're in my seat. Don't you want your name on it?" I don't see your name on it, loser." Sasuke spat back, glaring at Naruto, whose face scrunched up in anger. "Want me to kick you off, you little shit? I'm as tall as you," Sasuke barked. Then he scoffed and turned to look over the village again. "What are you doing here? I always come up here," Naruto muttered as he walked up to Sasuke and sat down next to him. "The people in the village treat me like crap, so I came up here and look over the whole village. I don't know, I feel something." "Something?" Sasuke asked, raising an eyebrow. "An incredible need to protect this place," Naruto explained with a shrug. "I'm going to be the great ninja and continue the old man's work." "Old man?" "The Hokage, JJ. I'm going to take over as Hokage one day, then everybody in the village will acknowledge me and my existence." Sasuke scoffed in the, fucking stupidness out of he was spilling. What a foolish dream. Suddenly Sasuke found his collar being grabbed by Naruto, who pulled him closer and glared into his eyes with an intensity that Sasuke had never seen before. There was a fire in Naruto's eyes that burned brightly enough that shocked Sasuke into speechlessness. This kid who had 100% confidence that his dream would come true. "Say it again," Naruto growled out angrily. "Get off me," Sasuke grunted, slapping Naruto's hands off his collars. He brightened up again and lowered his head, so that half his face was covered in the high Uchiha's trademark collar, grazing darkly over the village. "I said it was a foolish dream. Empty words aren't gonna make them reality. All dreams start out as words. They are founded in what you can build on them," Naruto said intensely. "Without dreams, you will fall in a state of where our lives become insignificant." Sasuke blinked at this and slowly turned around and gave Naruto an appointed look in confusion. "You said importantness? And what?" he asked curiously. What does that mean?" "Don't know," Naruto said as he with a shrug. "But that's what JJ told me when I told him about my dream, and the Hokage says that if Hokage says it, it must be important." "Indeed, Naruto-kun." Both Naruto and Sasuke jumped in surprise as their heads to see another elderly Hokage-sama, or the Sandaime Hokage, standing there behind them, smiling brightly. "Ah, JJ!" Naruto exclaimed as he shot to his feet, pointing accusingly at Sasuke. "This punk said my dream is dumb." Sasuke pouted as he looked away. "Don't be too hard on Sasuke-kun," the Sandaime said kindly, walking up and kneeling behind Sasuke, putting his hand on his shoulder. "Sasuke's life has been rough recently, so it's understandable that he is skeptical. But it's amazing you two found each other up here." Naruto blinked, turning his head to the side. What are you on about, JJ?" "You both have darkness in your lives, a darkness no one could understand," the Sandaime said, which made Sasuke's eyes widen as he turned his head to look at Naruto in shock. "This kid has a rough life? I think that all of the people in the village, you two are probably the ones that can understand each other the most and help each other out." Sasuke looked skeptical at Naruto, who gave him an identical look. "The Pampered Prince?" Naruto asked, and exact same time Naruto said, the troublemaking idiot." The Sandaime just chuckled and patted both boys on the head and said, "Iruka told me you two sparred today. The strongest in your class. If you were arrogant enough or energetic enough during the spar, you would have gotten the feel and reasons for the fight." Raising again, the Sandaime smiled brightly at them. "I believe, Naruto-kun, Sasuke-kun, that if you two talked, you would become great friends, and it's not good to be keeping everything bottled up inside." With that, the Sandaime disappeared in a puff of smoke. Naruto looked a bit confused for a moment and then shrugged and plopped down next to Sasuke, humming. "What he mean had it rough," the brown head, I'm sorry, mumbled. The Sasuke eyes darkness and lowered his head again, hiding behind his collar. I don't want to talk about it. Fine, Naruto said with a shrug. Not like I want to talk to you, a punk. Anyway, I just like here and enjoying the view. Sasuke scoffed, keeping his gaze on the village. The two sat in silence for a while, and Sasuke thought back to when they sparred with Naruto earlier that day. The Sandaime said that they should be able to understand each other, and Sasuke could remember that Itachi had said something similar once. That's when two warriors clash, their minds connect, their true feelings are displayed to each other. Slowly Sasuke turned his head to look at Naruto, who kept a deflated look in his face as he looked over the village. You are determined, Sasuke spoke up suddenly, which made Naruto look at him. I got that from our spar. You're constantly trying to prove yourself, and your determined is outlook for all the hate you held inside. Hatred for what? Why should I answer you? You didn't. Sasuke gave a scoff and looked away from Naruto again. He didn't know what to do at this moment. I am from the Uchiha clan. My brother was the strongest of us all. He was my hero. For as long as I can remember, I have wanted to be just like him. Then, about a month ago, Sasuke closed his eyes and took a deep breath, the events flashing before his eyes. He contemplating avoiding telling Naruto, but it felt that it might be best to talk to him. About a month ago, my brother killed my entire clan before fleeing the village. Naruto blinked in surprise at that. Wow, that sucks, I guess. What about you, Sasuke asked, hoping to find something out and focus on. What about me? Have you lost anyone? The Hokage said you will understand each other, so I don't think he meant like that, Naruto said with a shrug. I've never lost a family member. Oh, Sasuke thought, and couldn't help but envy for how lucky Naruto was. Then again, I never had a family to begin with. Huh? Sasuke blinked in surprise. Maybe Naruto wasn't so lucky after all. Yeah, I'm an orphan. No idea who my parents are. I think they died the day I was born during the Kyuubi attack or something. Oh, Sasuke said slowly. Is that why you have such suppressed hatred? Nope. I don't hate the Kyuubi, Naruto said, shaking his head. I don't really hate anything. That's total crap, Sasuke muttered, giving Naruto a skeptical look. The Hokage said that you were able to understand each other since we sparred, and I felt a lot of hatred coming from you. Naruto scoffed and crossed his arms, turning away, while he muttered, what do you know? I know that look of hatred in your eyes. I see it every time I look in the mirror, so tell me. Naruto kept his defense up for a few moments, but then he seemed to deflate as he turned his head to look over the village. The villagers, I guess, he muttered. They think that I'm behind the death, but I see and hear everything. Most of the people, they glare at me for no reason and whisper things about me, even though they don't even fucking know me. The whispers are such hurtful things. Why would they do that? I mean, you are a troublemaker and a fool, but that's... Shut up, Naruto snapped. I only start causing trouble because they whispered a bunch of crap. Sasuke's eyes widened. Then why are they whispering? Don't know, Naruto said with a shrug. They've been doing this as long as I can remember. When asked the old man, he dodges and changes the subject. So you have no idea what it's like to lose a family, and you have no idea what it's like to be loved by a family in the first place, or be whispered about by a village, Sasuke muttered, frowning his brow. How exactly are we meant to understand each other? Well, I don't think JJ meant we'd be able to understand each other in the way you're putting it. Pain is cause. The thingy? The JJ has a word for it, but I can't I can't say it. You should work on it. Give me a break, alright? I never had someone teach me properly. Sasuke scoffed in assuming as he looked over the village again, a small smirk on his face. Aren't you shot? I'll kick you down here again. As Sasuke walked into the academy the next day, He couldn't but help feel happy. Yes, it was probably the happiness that he felt that he and Naruto had talked the previous evening. They had found out that the Sandaime was right. Though their situations were vastly different, they had connected thanks to the fact the pain they felt was very similar, despite being radically different. Also, Sasuke felt quite proud of himself for having spent most of the night studying a dictionary so that he could understand or he could confuse Naruto with big words the following day. Sasuke looked around the classroom, finding fangirls sitting on either side of each other and had taken the previous day. They were watching him expectantly, and Naruto felt not Naruto, Jesus Christ, I don't know why I keep fucking saying Naruto. Sasuke felt very reluctant to go over there, so he desperately searched for another spot to sit. He found it, and with luck, who was sitting there? It was a seat next to Naruto, who had been resting on his head and his arms, snoring peacefully. Yo, Sasuke said as he came up to Naruto and sat down next to Naruto, who was resting his head on his arm, snoozing peacefully. Yo, Sasuke said as Naruto came up and was like, what do you want? I was up last night, Sasuke said, smirking. He didn't need to tell him why he had been up. He just settled for a few using the fruits of his labor. Yeah, same here, Naruto said with a nod. I'm very agitated. I spent most of the night reading a dictionary. It was exhausting and refreshing at the same time, but very vigorous. Sasuke twitched. He narrowed his eyes and looked away, realizing he had no idea that he did the same thing. Also studied a dictionary, but I never got that far into it. Yeah, the words were probably the only words I bothered actually memorizing, Naruto said, sighing entirely. It's way too much of a hassle to bother with big words. Alright, settle down, Iruka voice as the tuning teacher entered the classroom, as usual, and had no effect whatsoever on the class, who kept chatting with each other. Iruka twitched once, took a deep breath and yelled, "Shut the hell up!" This, as usual, got their attentions and the class started to get settled in. After the class was let out for the day, Naruto and Sasuke didn't go to their respective homes. Instead, they headed to the library, and Sasuke couldn't help but notice the look Naruto had gotten from the librarian, who had looked very agitated. She wanted to kick him out, but when she saw Sasuke approaching, she did not care because they were accompanying each other. He didn't voice this, but however, as Naruto was in a good mood since he had a family, since he had finally gotten a friend, not a family. Well, they're kind of like family. They should be families, goddammit. You know what I'm saying? They got a lot of things similar, you know what I mean? Let me get back to the story. So now they were looking through scrolls after scroll, researching ninja and chakra. As much as possible, Naruto had wanted to spend the day at Ichiraku Ramen, but Sasuke had convinced him to go to the library after all. He couldn't grow strong enough to become Hokage and get anywhere with the knowledge of him being spent his days in the ramen stand. Sensor ninja, medic ninja, offensive ninja, defensive ninja, genjutsu specialist, ninjutsu specialist, taijutsu specialist. Naruto muttered, looking through the 13th scroll of the day. There is so much to choose from. How do you know which one fits you? I will be an offensive type, Sasuke said, humming. Yeah, definitely. I specialize in all three. Ninjutsu, taijutsu, genjutsu. You don't seem the genjutsu type, Naruto said, looking his head to the side. Well, not right now, but when I get my Sharingan, it'll come naturally. Naruto stared at Sasuke for a long time. Sharingan? I'll tell you later. Shrugging, Naruto looked back at the scroll and frowned his brow, and he thought which one he would pick up. Clicking his tongue and muttering, I think I'll be a good censor. Also, I should probably mix with a little offense and defense specialist, a little ninja and a little taijutsu. It'd be good to have a censor on the team, Sasuke said, nodding slowly. On the team? Well, we're going to be on the same team, aren't we? You're probably one of the worse than the academy. I can stand. You're probably the only one in the academy I can stand, and hopefully the Hyuga girl will end up with us too. She's probably the only girl who doesn't follow me around like a lost puppy. I didn't know we got to pick our teammates. We don't, but we can manipulate things so that we are. Naruto breaks slowly, then he ordered explain. From what I could tell, the pair is from the highest scoring boy to the girl, the lowest scoring boy. Therefore, I would be Rookie of the Year as it is expected of me. And you'll barely be passing grades and become dead last. That way we'll end up on the same team, even if you're just below me in power. You sound confident in your own power. I'm an Uchiha, so I have to be, right? Well, that's debatable. Debatable. Naruto, Sasuke barked a very, very loud voice. Another one of his brands, dare he say, best friend. Sasuke had always been different. He was a lot happier. He supposed he wasn't even to call 6 months since they've met. And Sasuke had found something more to live for. Other than his clan, obviously, because, you know, his clan got fucking wiped out. When his clan was killed, he thought everyone he cared about had disappeared. All he had seen in front of him was Itachi and desired to kill the man. Now, however, he had realized that although the Uchiha clan would always be very dear to him and he will always miss them, he could get new people who were precious to him. Granted, he had only found one person who he can call precious, but still. Also, his clan could be revived. That responsibly, reset on Sasuke's shoulders. The responsibility rested on Sasuke's shoulders now, if he wanted to bring the clan back to its former greatness. Therefore, he couldn't just focus all his attention on getting strong enough to kill Itachi. After all, if he failed, the Uchiha clan would forever be gone from Konoha. Sasuke came to a sudden halt when he reached their clearing in a training area 3, where he and Naruto had been given permission to train. He found Naruto sitting very centered, looking around with a bright smile on his face. Why are you smiling? Because the trees had sprouted from the ground around him. Trees? That Sasuke was 100% sure he hadn't been there before. How? Oh, hey Sasuke, Naruto said, getting to his feet and jogging over to Sasuke. Isn't this cool? I could create trees. How did you do that? What isn't an element? Sasuke said, eyes still widening in shock. Their senses have sharpened enough that they weren't surprised when the Sandaime appeared in the clearing. They heard him the second his sandal touched the dirt. I would also like to know, Naruto-kun, the Sandaime spoke up, staring at Naruto curiously. Well, I just sat there meditating and suddenly I started to mold chakra, but it felt different somehow, like my chakra was split into 2. So I tried pulling them together and again, and poof, Naruto finished, lamely gesturing to the trees around him. Naruto-kun, do you know that the wood release is a bloodline limit? The Sandaime said seriously, making both Naruto and Sasuke go wide-eyed. Whoa! Naruto exclaimed. A grin appeared on his face, then as he turned to Sasuke. Did you hear that, Sasuke? I have a bloodline too. Indeed you do, Naruto-kun. Have any of you heard of wood release before? I've heard of it. I mentioned it by my father once or twice, I think, Sasuke said, scratching his head. Other than that, no. The wood release is a special bloodline ability the first Hokage had, goddammit, the Sandaime said, and it didn't take more than a second for both Naruto and Sasuke to realize what he had said. Holy mother of shit, Naruto exclaimed, putting it into words that both boys felt. I'm related to the first Hokage? And And I got the what? Naruto-kun, the Sandaime said, nodding. How? I don't know. But I don't think your parents were related to them. The second Hokage, I do believe, never had any children, and the last known descendant of, the first Hokage, the Sandaime eyes widened. No, it couldn't be. Naruto blinked, then looked at Sasuke, who shrugged. Neither of them needed to speak in order for them to know what the fuck they were talking about. The last known descendant of the first Hokage was the son of Tsunade. However, she was forced to give him up for adoption against the wishes of the village. Of course, she didn't think she would trust them to raise her child. I believe the fate somehow intervened, and the child remained in the village despite everything. A smirk slowly spread across the Sandaime's face. Naruto-kun, I believe you deserve to find out who your true parents were, he said, making Naruto's eyes widen. Along with Sasuke, as Naruto had told the Sandaime often that he wanted to be dangerous for it would be dangerous for, Naruto to know who his parents were. Why don't we talk somewhere more private? Can Sasuke come? Naruto asked hopefully. Cause, I could tell him anyway. The Sandaime looked at Sasuke, who thought for a moment the old man doubted that he couldn't be trusted. But, he was gonna be told any fucking way. Sure, he could come. Alright, they both disappeared in the blur. They go to the Hokage's mansion in the Sandaime's office. To be exact, the walls were lined with scrolls showing that the Sandaime, the fucking jutsu where the privacy seal shit. Sit down, the Sandaime said, gesturing to the four curious, on the floor. He sat down. He got into a position. He then groaned, oldly, like an old ass man. The Sandaime gently, grandfatherly looked was replaced with a stern and serious voice. Now, Naruto-kun, I want you to remember that this is very sensitive information, and that your parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, even your great-great-grandparents had enemies that would love to kill you simply out of spite. Therefore, I would like for the two of you to keep this information into yourselves until I deem you strong enough to protect yourself. Is that clear? Yes, JJ, Naruto said it, and Sasuke nodded in agreement. Alright. Very well. Your mother, Naruto-kun, is Uzumaki Kushina, a member of the great Uzumaki clan from Uzugakure, a now destroyed village situated on the island east of the Fire Crunchy. This clan was known to have great prophecy with sealing techniques, and their longevity was amazing. She was an amazing, strong woman with a very hot temper. The Sandaime paused for a moment and gave a small chuckle. In her youth, she was teased in the Ninja Academy because they found her red hair, weird. The children called her Tomato. Naruto gave a little snort, of laughter, and Sasuke had suppressed a smirk, knowing that was the kind of name Naruto would have came up with for someone like that. The Sandaime hummed and put his hand on his chin, rubbing it thoughtfully. Of course, that all changed when she started pummeling those who teased her, promoting the children called her red hot bloody habanero. Naruto teased and Sasuke knew his friend very well enough to know that Naruto had suddenly decided to go by the name decided not to go name calling anyone anymore unless the name calling actually deserved it. Well, what about my dad? Naruto asked, shaking off the horrible thought he had put in his head of the angry redhead who was a super cool ninja or something. Oh, Sasuke felt his jaw muscles slacken a little bit. Oh, he's super cool, alright. The Sandaime said. He's not your father. Your father is the main reason why your true heritage has to be kept hidden from you. The great Shinobi War, he made a great enemies out of Awa. He was the man who one day raised to become the Yondaime Hokage of Konoha Minato Namikaze. Glances to his right to see Naruto had the same reaction, and Sandaime in open shop. My old man was. That's right, Naruto-kun. Your father was the Yondaime Hokage, who I now suspect was adopted. I believe that Tsunade biological son. The reason why I haven't told you anyone else about this is that you are, I'm sorry to say this, a loudmouth, Naruto-kun. Sasuke couldn't suppress a smirk at seeing Naruto twitch in irritation at hearing that. Naruto-kun, if I had told you that, then you would have screamed it out, and whoever was listening at every chance, this would have brought to our attention. They may have tried to kidnap you, kill you, torture you a little bit, you know what I'm saying, cut you here and there. However, I didn't want to keep this from you any longer. Now, you are needed to be trained, my nigga. I mean, he can't say nigga, my bad, he white. There's this man in Konoha who's quite good in Ninshu, and no, Naruto-kun, he is not a Senju. The Sandaime added, as seeing Naruto's face brighten up, he exclaimed on, you know the nigga with the Mokitan ability, the fucking Yamato. That's that nigga name. I almost forgot this shit. He's currently serving the Anbu forces, but I'm gonna recall him to be your instructor when it comes to the Mokitan Ninshu. Naruto grinned wildly at that. Thanks a lot, JJ, he exclaimed and turned to Sasuke. Let's both become super powerful. Yeah, he, Sasuke scoffed, smirking, and I'm gonna become stronger than you fool. The Sandaime stared intently at the two children while then his eyes closed and he gave a bright smile, chuckling softly. Naruto twitched and a disgusted look appeared on his face. Oi, DJ, why are you smiling? Are you a pedophile? The Sandaime turned his head and twitched. Naruto! And that's when the movie's part of, guys. It's a 36-minute video. Hey, I'm doing quite good for myself, don't you think? No? Just shut the hell up. Okay. And I'm out this bitch.
Bye. Have a beautiful time.